Presented by the 2015 Honda Civic.
Check 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you.
Rob's mic. In Boston, Massachusetts, the third game of a three-game series against the Red Sox as the Blue Jays look for the sweep. And here is the lineup for John Gibbons and the 33-30 Toronto Blue Jays. Jose Reyes riding a 10-game hitting streak. He's hit .357 with 10 runs batted in during the streak. Then Donaldson, Bautista, Edwin Encarnacion is the designated hitter. Chris Colabello, Russell Martin, who has been red hot against the Sox. He's 8 for 25, 7 runs batted in. Had a bases-loaded triple and a home run so far. Danny Valencia playing in left, Kevin Pillar at center, and Ryan Goins is the second baseman, facing a young star for the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, just 3 starts to his major league career. This is Eduardo Rodriguez, his 4th start of the season. Tries to slow down the Blue Jay bats and continue that excellent start. You can see he's 2-0 with a .044 earned run average. He was acquired from Baltimore for Andrew Miller last July. He's made 3 big league starts, allowed 1 run in 20 2/3 inning. That 1 run, that was a home run by Brian Dozier on June the 3rd. He's faced 77 total batters. He's given up 8 hits. So the Blue Jays are going to be in tough, even though they have hit left-handers hard this year.
Couple of fastballs, both missing. 2-0 in this ball game underway as Jose Reyes looks to extend his hitting streak to 11 games.
Isn't it ironic? As soon as Reyes started hitting, the Blue Jays started winning. He's such an igniter at the top of that lineup. He brings a lot of energy to the ballpark every single day, and when he gets on base, good things usually happen.
And this one into shallow right field. Backpedaling is Pedroia. Second baseman makes the play, and there's the first out. For the Red Sox, defensively in the outfield, it's Hanley Ramirez, Rusty Castillo, and Alejandro Daza. Mookie Betts is still getting another day off after rattling into the wall on Friday. Infield, Pablo Sandoval, Xander Bogaerts, Dustin Pedroia, and Brock Holt from third to first. And it is Blake Swihart. He is catching, well, I heard him on the radio referred to as E-Rod.
This is Brock Holt over at first base. 6 different players have started a game at first base for the Red Sox this year. And Holt has now played every position this year. He's made a start at every position but pitcher and catcher. What a versatile player he is.
And the Blue Jays will see plenty of fastballs from Eduardo Rodriguez, the 22-year-old from Venezuela. Donaldson hitting .316, driven in 45 runs to lead the Blue Jays. And a very quick 4-pitch walk. And the Blue Jays have their first base runner.
Well, let's take a look at young 22-year-old Eduardo Rodriguez and what he features. A fastball about 70% of the time, and it's right at 93 miles an hour. Just a tick above that. He'll mix in a changeup and a slider. The fastball can really move. You saw that already with the first 2 batters, and he likes to pound those right-handers inside with that fastball. You know, I think this is a really interesting matchup in this vein. You saw that the fastball averages about 93 miles an hour. The Blue Jays have the 3rd best average in all of baseball against fastballs, 93 plus. And they're actually 50 points higher than the major league average.
Ground ball up the middle. Pedroia picks it up, makes the play to first, and a double play ends the inning very quickly. Red Sox coming to the plate in the first. Toronto Blue Jays. Dustin Pedroia will start things off, followed by Brock Holt at first. Hanley Ramirez, who in his last 7 is 9 for 24 with 4 runs batted in. David Ortiz, in his career against the Jays, 224 games, he's stroked 55 home runs, brought in 167 runs. He has been busy. Xander Bogaerts, Pablo Sandoval, Alejandro De Aza, Rusney Castillo, and Blake Swihart
will face Marco Estrada as he gets ready for the start this afternoon. He's looking to win his 3rd straight start. He's beating Washington and Miami in his last 2. He got his first win as a Blue Jay. Came right here in Boston in April, 3 innings of relief in a Blue Jays 11-8 win. Right after that, Marco was moved into the starting rotation, and he hasn't looked back. He's put up some pretty decent numbers for the Blue Jays as a starter.
And the top third of the order, Pedroia, Holt, and Hanley Ramirez. First pitch from Estrada, ball 1.
Now you want to be careful with Dustin Pedroia. He's a hot hitter right now. He has raised his batting average 84 points in the month of June already. He's had 19 hits this month. And he will attack that fastball. Estrada will give him a fastball. And he has been jumping all over. There are his numbers this year against the Blue Jays. A home run and 6 RBIs for Pedroia. 373 in the month of June.
Well, he's going to add to the total as he drives the ball into center field, a leadoff single. For the Blue Jays defensively in the outfield, Danny Valencia gets the start in left field. Kevin Pillar's in center and Jose Bautista in right. Around the infield, Chris Colabello is at first base. Ryan Goins second, Jose Reyes at short, and Josh Donaldson at third. And Russell Martin is behind the plate, catching Marco Estrada.
And in the outfield, Jose Bautista. This is his 12th straight start for Bautista since coming back from that shoulder injury. No coincidence, the Blue Jays are 10-1 since his comeback. And he made a play in right field yesterday that was outstanding.
Brock Holt gets under it and into center field. Pillar is there, and Pedroia fakes going to second.
You know, the Blue Jays do not win that game yesterday without great defense. And the one play that I was just talking about was this play by Jose Bautista in right field. Watch him go back to the wall, time his leap, catch it, and then hang on to that wall to save a home run off of R.A. Dickey. That ball leaves the ballpark right there. He doesn't make that catch. The Blue Jays don't go extra innings, and they don't win that game. So he has made a world of a difference for this team defensively.
One down, Pedroia at first, and Hanley Ramirez steps in, hitting .275. Missing is Estrada, who was drafted by Washington in 2005 and spent time in the majors with Washington and Milwaukee before he was in the Adam Lynn deal last November. Ramirez sends it high left side and not playable for Josh Donaldson as that rolls past the first deck of seating.
Hanley Ramirez got off to an outstanding start for the Boston Red Sox this year in the month of April, but May not so much. Just drove in 5 runs, and those were all at the last part of May. Went into a horrible slump. I don't know if it's because he was changing position. You know, he came up as a shortstop, played the majority of his career as a shortstop. Now he's got a man left field.
Ooh, in tight. 3-1. Pedroia at first, 1 down.
Almost walked right into that one. I think you have to bust him in right there like Marco did. He doesn't have the huge fastball, but you got to be able to move that fastball in and out and up and down.
Ramirez the bat on his shoulder. It's a walk, and runners at first and second.
And I think Marco is getting a little bit stronger as he builds up his pitch count. You can see what he did over his first 4 starts after he came out of that bullpen. The on-base percentage, slugging percentage, whip, everything is very high, but it's been much better. He's tightened things up. He's starting to use his curveball just a little bit more. He's trying to develop a cutter. He said the cutter, that I started developing that because I wanted something on a big count to a right-hander, but it's been a very good pitch for the left-handers. He is starting to use that cutter to get in on the left-handed hitters.
David Ortiz is the batter with 2 on, 1 out. Reyes is pulled over on the second base side with the shift. Maybe the lonely guy as Josh Donaldson on the left side of the infield.
It'll be an interesting double play attempt by the Blue Jays if he hits a ground ball to the right side. Ortiz doesn't bounce into a lot of double plays. He's a fly ball type of hitter.
Ortiz led off the 6th inning yesterday with his 8th homer of the season that tied the game. Reyes coming in to talk to Estrada.
That home run that you were talking about, that's 474 home runs now in his illustrious career, David Ortiz. That's, you know who he passed yesterday? Carlos Delgado for 31st place all time in baseball. Next up on the list, Stan Musial and Willie Stargell at 475.
The 2-0. Now 3-0. And a 4-pitch walk to Ortiz. Bases loaded, bottom of the 1st inning, as the Red Sox are trying to take advantage early.
Well, they are building this rally right now on the backs of a couple of walks. At some point, Marco's going to have faith in that fastball and put it where he needs to get outs. He missed 4 times up and away to David Ortiz, so he's going to have to make that adjustment.
Now he's got Xander Bogaerts to face, and Bogaerts is hitting .295, driven home 24, 1 out, and the bases are full. He's hit safely in his last 9 games.
And he has been their best hitter with runners in scoring position this year. That's why they have him behind David Ortiz this afternoon.
And again, high.
High and away. He's going to have to trust that fastball at some point. Keep it down. There's the runners in scoring position this year. 22 of his 24 RBI is driven in with runners in scoring position.
Well, he has a chance to cash some more in. Bases loaded, a 1-0 count, just 1 down. And he finds the strike zone there with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
Boy, this would be a good time to use that cutter right here. Something that he wanted to develop versus the right-handers and fastball types of situations. Just something that moves as I can hit it right off the end of the bat.
Fouled back. Got a look at Pedroia, Ramirez, and Ortiz around the bags from 3rd to 1st. And a 1-2 count.
Some good off-speed pitches does Marco Estrada. One, the changeup, outstanding, one of the best in the American League, and a curveball, I think that's really starting to develop. 2 pitches that he can use if he wants to for strikeout pitches.
Fouls it back.
And that was the changeup right there. Outstanding arm action from Marco. He really throws that front side at that hitter with that glove and really is deceptive with his windup.
20-mile-an-hour difference from his fastball. The 1-2. Ripped right at Donaldson. He goes to second and gets Ramirez as he started to move towards third base. It's a double play, and that ends the first. Some good D, and Donaldson starts it off by snaring the line drive and then gets Ramirez.
First inning jam, and prior to the game he sat looking on his iPad at Don Cherry. Of course, last night on Coach's Corner, Cherry made his pledge to have Josh Donaldson be the starter at the All-Star game this year, guys, and it is kind of interesting to see how many Kansas City Royals are dominating. And when you got backing like Don Cherry, Donaldson says that, you know, this is great for him. He'd love to get in, and to have a guy like Don Cherry pulling for him makes him feel pretty darn good.
It's a pretty big audience, too, to get that
let's go,
that
Canada.
website
Come on,
there.
you got all of Canada to vote for Josh Donaldson. Kansas City, they're stuffing the ballot boxes in Kansas City. That's one small town. We got the whole country. Let's go. Time to get Josh into the All-Star game.
Josh sent a very nice tweet out thanking Don Cherry for his support. Encarnacion leading off the second. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Edwin hitting .232. He's hit 13 home runs and driven in 36.
And what a great matchup for Edwin. The guy who loves to pump that fastball in there from the left side. You're playing at Fenway Park. You've got a fastball count. Do something with it.
And a fly ball into right field. Measuring it and making the play is Diaza. Let's go back field level. Barry Davis.
Well, fans, if you do want to take Don Cherry's lead and vote for Josh Donaldson, here is how you do it. You go to BlueJays.com and you make your vote. You can have 35 votes per email address, but as Don said, you can always find a way of making up a new email address to get him in there. Also, of course, you can vote for Russell Martin, Edwin Encarnacion, Jose Bautista to all be starters at the All-Star Game, which goes July 14th in Cincinnati.
Maybe Don will lend Josh one of his jackets if he gets to the All-Star game.
Could you imagine him showing up in Cincinnati in one of those
He'll make
outfits?
an All-Star splash, wouldn't he?
Oh, boy. In that conservative town, you kidding me?
Chris Colabello here with a lot of family from Framingham and flies out to center field. And to Castillo. 2 up, 2 down. 2 fly ball outs by the young star Eduardo Rodriguez.
First time through the lineup now. Blue Jays are getting a feel for what Rodriguez features. You can look at all the tape you want and have an idea, but there's nothing like standing in that batter's box, Rob. You got to get in there and you got to get a feel for what he's going to try and do to you, what the fastball looks like, what he's going to throw in certain counts. So this first time through, I think, is very important for the Blue Jays.
As you said, too, the Blue Jays have not been intimidated by hard throwers.
No, they love it. In fact, they've got the 3rd highest average against fastballs, 93 plus. The major league average is 257. Blue Jays this year have hit 307. So 50 points higher against fastballs, 93 plus. And this guy, the added bonus is left-handed. And we all know what the Blue Jays do against left-handed pitching.
They love left-handers, and so he's both left-handed and throws heat.
So it should be a good matchup for the Blue Jays. We'll see.
Russell Martin has been one of the hitting stars this weekend in Boston. Had the bases clearing triple on Friday. Hit the extra inning home run yesterday afternoon. Ground ball to short. Bogart's up with it. Lots of time and a very quick effort by the Red Sox against the Blue Jays. 3 up, 3 down. Retired the first 6 batters in a row.
This afternoon, starting pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays, Marco Estrada. He was a 6th-round draft pick back in 2005 by the Washington Nationals. He was picked up by the Brewers on waivers in 2010, spent 5 seasons there, and then he was traded to the Blue Jays last November in exchange for Adam Lynn. Last year, he got into a career-high 150 and 2/3 innings for the Brewers. He won a career-high in games last year. He won 7 games for the Brewers. Trying to duplicate that here this season with the Blue Jays. He's done a great job coming out of the bullpen and really pitched some good ball games for the Blue Jays so far as a starter.
And that has been a very pleasant surprise for John Gibbons to have him slotted in. Sandoval, Diaza, and Castillo due up. Sandoval left the game yesterday in the 7th with right quad tightness.
Came out early today, took some batting practice. It's in his right leg, like you were saying, and you hit against that front side like that, and he just started tightening up in yesterday's ball game. And for precautionary reasons, John Farrell got him out of the game, but when he tested it today, he said all's fine.
Fouls pitch back and over the stands. It's a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Blue Jays benefited from a double play to end the top of the first here in the second. Oh. Well, fouling that down, that's going to sting.
From your quad to your lower leg this time. Trying to walk that one off. You see he wears that big shin guard. Oh. And that one was right off the instep.
Right as he turned, too. He left it exposed, and that was where he hit.
And if you've never had that done, I'm telling you, it hurts. It'll hurt for weeks. Even though he's got that pad on that front leg.
The 1-2. Fouled back, almost made it into the press box behind home plate.
It's a team, the Red Sox, that don't swing and miss a lot. They don't strike out a lot. You're really going to have to make pitches against them to get them out. They've got one of the lowest swing and miss rates in the American League.
Just reaching out was Sandoval. Drove the ball into center field. He was aboard another leadoff single.
You know, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, where they don't swing and miss a lot. This is a pretty good pitch right here from Estrada. It's a changeup down and away off the plate. There's no swing and miss there. He's got plate coverage, and he finds a hole. I mean, that's why it's so tough to get these Red Sox hitters out. They're good. They're patient. They don't swing at the first pitch, and it's a battle every time you face them.
Alejandro Diaz is playing right field. He's called into service on Friday night after Mookie Betts rattled into the railing in that triangle in center field. Castillo had to move to center, and Diaz came in to play right.
And Mookie's just not feeling right this morning, so he's going to take another day.
Nice off-speed pitch, the changeup. Martin set up outside, and that's where Estrada delivered.
He's just missing his spots. They're just off the plate, and against the Red Sox, that's not a good formula. You just don't go outside the strike zone. I think you have to keep the pressure on and attack them and get them into swing mode.
And called out on strikes. Diaz is not happy with it. Continues to chat to Alan Porter behind home plate.
Well, during the offseason, I think Alex Anthopoulos had a pretty good offseason because it's starting to turn out nicely. Josh Donaldson, we all know about him and Russell Martin and what they have done, 17 home runs and 10 home runs. But how about picking up Chris Colabello and what he has meant to this team at 341? And Marco Estrada has become a valuable player in that starting rotation, a 378 earned run average as we start today.
And Rusney Castillo steps in with one down, man on first. Castillo's hitting .242.
You know, some of the other acquisitions that, you know, we could also put on that list, Justin Smoak, what he has been able to do this year. Devin Travis, what he has been able to do and what he has meant to the Blue Jays. And Michael Saunders, we haven't seen a healthy Michael Saunders yet this season. So a very busy offseason for Alex, and so far so good.
And still shopping around.
I think so.
I think he's still sniffing around to see what's available, make the bowl team better. Big swing, and Castillo takes the walk back to the dugout. 2 straight strikeouts for Estrada.
Again, one of the best changeups, I think, in baseball. And that's what it is. Rusney Castillo missed that one by a mile. He was totally fooled by that changeup. And second strikeout for Marco this afternoon.
Blake Swihart hitting .218. Catcher this afternoon. Takes a strike. Fastball. Down low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Pretty good looking pitch right there, wasn't it? You can see on pitch trackers that that number 2 looked like it was right at the bottom of the strike zone.
Up high, 2 balls and a strike. Rip foul. Rattled off the facing and right back down into the seats. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kazmaier has hit safely in 15 of his last 19 games. Looks at that one away. Counts full.
Trying to change up right there. Now Colabello, the first baseman, is going to let Marco know with the left-handed batter, I'm going to play behind the runner now, so don't throw over there. See if he goes back to that changeup.
Here goes Sandoval. Fly ball. Left field. Backing up is Valencia. At the track. Reaches up. Makes it just in front of the scoreboard in left field. That leaves one on the base paths. No scoring through two.
And they get one this afternoon, and this is why they like it. Look at some of these averages that the Blue Jays have put up this season against the left-hander. Danny Valencia, 425. He's a 335 career hitter with 62 extra base hits against lefties. Josh Donaldson, he's up there at 419. Colabello's over 400. Russell Martin, 350. And Bautista's OPS is 1.017. So lots of right-handed thump in the lineup for the Blue Jays. And Eduardo Rodriguez has gotten off to a great start in his career. 3 games, 7 innings, 7 strikeouts. He's only given up 1 run, but he's in tough this afternoon.
Man who is leading that I like lefties list is Danny Valencia. He's leading off the top of the 3rd. Well, gives up the bat, ground ball to Bogaerts, and he makes the out. That's 7 in a row.
Well, I haven't seen a straight fastball yet from Eduardo Rodriguez. I was talking to some of the Red Sox people today, and I was asking them about him. They said he's got a very good fastball, and we showed in the scouting report that he throws a lot of fastball. None of them are straight. He can make that ball go away from the right-handers. That time he cut that ball in on Valencia and really ate him up.
So the double play has certainly helped out things. They've only faced 7 batters. Walked Donaldson in first. Got a little help in the first from his defense. 3 up, 3 down in the second. Got the leadoff man here in the third. And ripping that into right field. Drops just in front of Diaza as Kevin Pillar gets the first hit of the ball game for the Blue Jays.
Boy, there they go again. Bottom of that lineup doing it for the Blue Jays. Pillar got ahead in the count. That ball looked like it was cutting inside, and he slashes that ball. Inside out swing, and picks up the game's first hit for the Blue Jays.
And John Gibbons thinks that they haven't been given enough credit. That bottom third of the order has been very good here in Boston. Fly ball. And into center field. Into the glove of Castillo. As Goins is retired as he went after the pitch. 2 out, 1 on. Into the top of the order, and Jose Reyes. Bottom third of the order had 7 hits on Friday. 5 hits yesterday.
It sets it all up for everybody else at the top. Now they have to take advantage of it right here.
Skips in. Oh, it doesn't get far enough away from Swihart for Pilar to challenge. Took a couple of steps.
Yeah, he tried. He tried to move up, but Swihart, known as a defensive catcher, pounced on that thing. Here are the numbers for Eduardo Rodriguez by situation this year. Again, it's only been 3 starts. This is his 4th start. None on. Batters are hitting just 143. They get on, and he gets tougher. 050 for him.
And looking straight at the bag, he decides to keep Pilar close. Quick toss. And there goes Pilar. Throw by Swihart, and got him. Very good throw by Swihart to get Pilar at second, and he's still standing there.
Yeah, they want to take a look at this one. John Gibbons has asked the umpires if he can give me a second. Swihart 6 for 23 throwing out base runners. He got Reyes the other day. That was a high throw. And when he came down, it looked like it was a higher tag, but the Blue Jays are going to take a quick look at this from their dugout, get a call from the umpire.
And Pilar didn't want to move.
That's an aggressive slide into the bag, and he might have a pretty good argument. They're going to take a look at this one. You could see Kevin Pilar, but base runners know if they feel that bag before the tag, if they're in there, and so he gives them a quick. No, hold on a second here.
You just take
I was safe.
But take a look now. He's the only guy on the field right now, and he's standing on second. All the Red Sox are down by first baseline.
That's an aggressive slide straight into the bag. Watch where the tag is. It's going to be high.
Oh, you know what? You're right. I think he's got a real good cause for the replay.
I don't think he got that front foot that was coming in. It looked like he missed the front foot and then got the leg that was tucked under.
Yeah, I think you're right. Look at the lonely guy. Here's the Maytag repairman right there at second. And he wasn't going to give up that bag, is he?
I'll tell you, the slide is what made it right there. It was straight in. Earlier this year, Kevin was sliding head first and injured his hand. And he said, that's it. I am not sliding head first anymore. He says, I'm going old style. I'm going feet first like they did back in the day. And I think it paid off for him right here. An aggressive slide. The foot goes straight in, hits the bag. You see that bag moving before the tag is put on. Now, is there enough evidence for the umpires to overturn the play?
Well, I think there's a couple of good views there that they're going to get a look at.
They're going to take their time. And that was a good time to run, I thought, with Reyes at the plate and 2 down. You take your chances. If you get thrown out, then Jose leads off next inning. If not, you got Reyes at the plate. Watch the bag move right there. He's on the bag, and there's the tag right there.
I think he may be. Well, we'll see right now. The hit sets off. He's safe. Nicely called by Kevin Pilar. He wasn't going to give up the bag. And that moves him to second.
Well, that's what replay was for. Put in for that reason right there. Get the call right. And they did.
Ninth steal for Pilar, puts him in scoring position.
Only been thrown out 1 time. So that's why you send him in that situation. Give him a chance to drive him in now.
Ground ball, slow roller by Reyes. Up with it is Pedroia. And that ends the top of the third.
Presented by the 2015 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
In Boston, Massachusetts, and one of the great stars of yesteryear. Look at Spaceman in the house. Bill Lee is here. He's ready to hit at a moment's notice.
Got the glove, the old-fashioned glove. He's trying to root on the Red Sox to get those bats going.
Dustin Pedroia to lead off the third. Pedroia, Holt, and Hanley Ramirez due up. Pedroia singled his first at bat. Now, right now, and all is not well in Red Sox land. They've lost 5 in a row. They're 27-36. You can read it in the papers. You hear it on the radio.
Oh,
They're getting
shows.
beaten up right now.
Yeah, and the talk is like, you know, they need to make a managerial change, and I'm not so sure about that. You know, it's not like John Farrell has lost his managerial skills. This is a team that won the World Series just a couple of seasons ago. There are the last 5 games, 0-5. They're just not pitching it. They're not catching it on defense, and they're certainly not hitting. They've been outscored by 9 runs over those last 5 games. Their longest losing streak since an 8-gamer last August.
Pedroia skies this shallow left, calling it off. Everybody off is Kevin Pillar. He makes the out. And now we're starting to see split for the Red Sox, now 7 back. But look how close New York, Tampa, Toronto, and Baltimore have all become now. I know Jay's probably on scoreboard watching, but on the big scoreboard, it's got the Baltimore, New York score. And right now, Baltimore leading New York. So Blue Jays wouldn't mind if the Orioles helped out and the Blue Jays continued the roll.
And there's some separation now starting to happen. The East has been hot. Every team in the East except the Red Sox have been playing some pretty good baseball of late. And you're starting to get that separation from the Red Sox. They're starting to fall. And that has everybody up in arms here. Here's the East that we were talking about. Blue Jays 10-0 in their last 10. Orioles, Yankees, Rays. The Red Sox are 3-7 during that.
Jamie and Cliff talked about it in the pregame show about What a shift you get when you go on a 10-0 run. All of a sudden, you're just now one game back of the leaders. 3 games over 500. There's a strike. And Brock Holt. Now he's chirping at Porter.
Well, he's been consistent. Estrada hit a couple of those spots down and away like that, and Brock Holt thought it was off the plate, but that's strikeout number 3 this afternoon. Seems like the fastball. Right there. Martin does a good job. Russell does a good job of framing that one up. It's high enough, as you can see, right at the knees.
Now facing Hanley Ramirez. Ramirez drives that into right field. That will drop foul. Wow, right, looked like it was going to be right down the line towards the pole, pesky pole.
You know, and you don't have to hit it that far to get it around that pole down the right field line. That is shallow.
It's another part of the field too where the stands come out and it's very tight to the foul line. And just clip the wall. Sometimes when it gets down there to the line, then it skitters all the way around that corner.
I think right field is harder to play than any field in the American League here at Fenway Park.
This one he gets under again. Shallow right. Goins calls off. Colabello makes the play. Tosses the ball into the stands. It's a 3 up, 3 down. Third, 3 innings in the books. No score.
Clinch it. Game 6 goes tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on CBC. And hey, you never know what Don Cherry may add about Josh Donaldson after what he had to say last night.
Yeah, we'll have to follow that, to see how the numbers stack up. Donaldson starting the top of the 4th, followed by Bautista and Encarnacion.
Have you been impressed with Eduardo Rodriguez so far?
Hey, he works quickly, and this one drops into shallow right center field. Everybody went after it. You saw Diaz, Castillo, and Pedroia all trying to figure out whose ball it was, and that will go as a base hit.
Diaz was playing very deep in right field, and you can see Pedroia still talking about that ball. I don't think he ever saw that one, Dustin Pedroia. When he turned his back and tried to find it again, it drops harmlessly into right field for a base hit. Diaz cannot get there, and the Blue Jays have their second hit.
Now facing Bautista. I've just been impressed with the fact that young Rodriguez just keeps pounding in the fastball, keeps working it around. Do you like what you see?
Yeah, he's impressive, yes, but that's nothing. Do you know he was naturally right-handed? when he was born. He broke his arm as a 7-year-old. Instead of letting it heal, he started throwing left-handed. And look at this guy's in the big leagues throwing 93, 94.
Slider down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. He broke his arm and
as a 7-year-old when he was 7. So instead of letting it heal and then start throwing again right hand, he said, I'll just throw left-handed. And here he is in the big leagues.
He probably was playing with the cast on too, and he said, I'll just throw with this arm. Here we go.
It's like Pat Venditti.
Yeah.
From Oakland. Yeah, he can throw with both.
He's been shut down because he's got some pain in his right shoulder. My question is, if you're ambidextrous, do you get to bring up 2 guys?
Sure.
If your ambidextrous guy goes, no. 2-1 to count. Leadoff man Donaldson aboard. Bautista. Fair ball down the line. Then it takes a strange bounce off that cutout in the stands into left field. Good heads up running. Donaldson is at third.
Donaldson's a good baseball player. He read that one. Quirky ballpark here in Fenway. So any ball down the line hit by the batter, it's going to hit those seats that are jetting out, and the shortstop has to be aware of that. I was watching Bogarts, and he sprinted straight out there to try and hold Bautista to a single. This is normally extra bases, a double, clearly foul, or excuse me, fair down the left field line. But you have to get out there and get that ball, and he does hold him to just a single, but Donaldson can move up.
First and third. Nobody out. Blue Jays threatening in the top of the 4th. Encarnacion has driven in 36 runs this season. Fouls it back. And during the streak, here's the numbers for the Jays. 303 average, averaging 7.5 runs per game.
We all knew that they can hit. They're pitching and catching the ball better. The hitting is starting to come around. And we still haven't seen the best, I think, from Bautista and Encarnacion, where they're really seeing the ball and driving the ball, getting extra base hits. I know Edwin's got 13 home runs. He's only hitting 230, though.
Well, here's a great chance to pick up an RBI. Donaldson at third. Bautista's at first. In the dirt. In the 10-game streak, the Blue Jays have outscored the opposition 75-35.
Is that good?
That's a little production for you. Plus 40.
7 runs a game.
Encarnacion holds up. The strike was there. Fastball, and the count is full.
You know, one thing that Edwin has had over the last 3 or 4 games, especially here in Boston, is long at bats. So that tells me he's starting to see the ball just a little bit better. And when you start to see the ball better, good things are going to start happening.
This one drives right up the middle and will score Donaldson. The Blue Jays will take the lead in the 4th. 1-0, an RBI single from Edwin Encarnacion. You mentioned the long at-bats. We saw him have a 10-pitch at-bat. And that one he just stuck around, able to drive the ball in the center field and bring home Donaldson.
He also had an 8-pitch at-bat in yesterday's ball game and just missed a couple of hits. Some good swings, just missed a couple of them. This time it looked like a cutter or a fastball with cutting action on it, just enough of the plate for Encarnacion to muscle that ball into center field. 3 straight hits now to start the 4th for the Blue Jays.
37th RBI for Encarnacion and Chris Colabello. And Colabello now has runners first and second, nobody out. A little bit reminiscent of the 7th inning on Friday. Colabello fouls it away. Colabello had quite a meet and greet down the left field line before the game.
Yeah, lots of family and friends here. I met his family last night at the hotel. They're heading out for dinner, and they're all out there, and they're very excited, very, very happy, very proud. And he's done a great job for the Blue Jays. 21 games, he's had 28 hits in his last 21 games in a big situation here.
Rodriguez wanted Swihart to go through the signs one more time. Foul back. And this was before today's game, and Colabello went over, and it was high fives and hugs all the way around. Then he was there for picture taking, and he's just moving down the list. Hi there, hello.
Every day. That's been every day
great
here at Fenway Park. He grew up coming in this ball game or ballpark as a kid, watching the Red Sox. And don't you think he would like to put a nail in their coffin and try and get a sweep here?
The 0-2.
There's some communication problems right now between Rodriguez and Swihart. Swihart, after that pitch, went right out to talk to his young starter.
And the pitch before, he wanted him to go through the signs again.
Yeah, they're having trouble deciding what to work on right here.
That is the Colabello clan. I think they have an entire section.
Let's give them something to cheer about.
Yeah.
Right here.
The 1-2, Colabello slow roller. Pedroia to second for one, and nice job by Encarnacion. That's all they'll get. Moving to third is Bautista, and Colabello is safe at first. But a hard charging Encarnacion was able to keep that from being a double play.
Yeah, and John Farrell's going to ask, could he have reached out to touch the base? Was there some interference there on the runner? But I don't think so. I had my eye on Edwin that whole time, and he hustled as soon as that ball was hit, sprinted down there. Now, this is a legal slide. He slides right into the base, the runner. Now, can he get out there and touch the bag? And I think he can. That's a good, aggressive, hard slide right there.
And now Farrell's actually going to the dirt on the infield to say, look where he was sliding.
You know, the frustrations for the Red Sox have been well documented here over the last couple of days, and Johnny Farrell's been very frustrated. He might escalate this right here just to try and fire up his team.
That's the crew chief, Jeff Kellogg, he's talking to. And he is continuing. It's interesting. He actually went to the scuff mark that Encarnacion left. The way they do it, at the French Open, when they've got the clay that they can go over and see if the ball is in or out. He's saying, look where he was sliding.
Well, he's going to, like I said, he's going to escalate this thing and try and get this fired up and really get his money's worth right here to try and get his team fired up. He wanted to fight that battle, but Jeff Kellogg said, enough of that. That was a good, aggressive baseball play right there from Encarnacion. We were talking yesterday that he is a very good base runner, and he showed it one more time. This is what you were talking about. John Farrell's going to say, okay, this is where he slid. I can see the mark right here, but lay down there and reach over it. If you can touch the bag, it's a legal slide.
They do get one at second, runners on the corners. Russell Martin, and will this get down? Will it get down? Yes, it does. Right in front of Diaza. Coming around to score, Bautista. Blue Jays now have a 2-0 lead.
Well, we've seen Russell smoke a ball to center field for a triple. Left center field, where he got all over a 2-0 fastball for a home run. This one's going to count too. Looked like he got beat just a little bit on that pitch from Rodriguez. Sometimes it's where you hit it, right off the end of the bat, and it stays fair. When you're hot, good things happen like this, right off the end of the bat, and that's going to be an RBI single for Russell.
And a mound meeting after that little bloop into right field. There's a bit of a wind, a little more wind than we've seen both Friday night and yesterday afternoon, coming from right field to left, and that may have held the ball up a little longer too. Runners first and second, just one out, 2 runs in.
Told you that Diaza has been playing some deep right field, and that time it backfired on him. Valencia's got runners on base. This is where he's really aggressive early in the count.
Well, this kid has been rolling along. Rodriguez, this is kind of the first stress point he's had, isn't it?
Second time through.
Yeah.
The lineup, the Blue Jays were doing their homework that first time through the lineup. Second time now that they've got a pretty good idea of what Rodriguez features.
Inside, slider misses. 2 balls, no strikes.
He's got a very uncomplicated delivery, very smooth mechanics, does Rodriguez, and he throws a lot of strikes. That could, again, work to the advantage of the Blue Jays.
Inside again to Valencia. Valencia grounded out. First at bat was just the 3rd inning. This is 6th batter to the plate for the Blue Jays in this now 2-run 4th.
No weak spots in this lineup, especially against the left-hander when John Gibbons gets those righties in there like Valencia. No rest stops.
Valencia takes a strike on the outside part of the plate. Tried to urge Alan Porter to give him the ball as he started to make that step towards first.
You don't want to walk here, right? You want to drive in runs. Tell you, if he throws that same pitch, I think he's going to hit one hard.
Inside, and he walks the bases loaded. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell in an update. And you know that will be glanced at a couple of times throughout this ball game by the Blue Jays. Bases loaded for Kevin Pillar. 1 out. 2 runs have already cashed in this top of the 4th. Right now Rodriguez having a little trouble finding the zone. The 1-0. Foul back by Pillar.
You know what the Blue Jays are doing? They are forcing Rodriguez over the plate. He's trying to throw that cutter in or that fastball into those right-handers, and they're very patient, and they're making him get that ball out over the plate. He's got good command, good control, but right now he's falling behind, and Blue Jays are waiting for that ball over the middle.
Big swing by Pillar.
You know what else I sense? I see him trying to do a little bit more this inning now, second time through, is pitch. Quote, pitch just a little bit more. He uses his changeup right there. We've seen a few more sliders this inning from Rodriguez. Not as many fastballs.
Bases loaded. The 1-2. Fouled back.
And then a fastball fouled off. His first 3 starts, Rodriguez only gave up the 1 run, that home run to Brian Dozier of the Minnesota Twins. That has been it. Blue Jays have been able to reach him already now for 2. Trying to add more.
4 hits in this inning. Oh, they appeal to first. Mark Ripperger says nope, did not go after it. Pillar, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That ball was moving away hard and fast, and you can see Kevin Pillar holds up.
Time was called just as Rodriguez was starting his motion. Colabello is at third. Martin at second. Valencia at first. reached out to foul that back as he was trying to find the outside corner of the plate. He had that ticketed there, didn't he?
Here's another long at bat by the Blue Jays. That fastball had some nice sinking action on it. And Pilar is able to get the at bat, keep it alive by just fouling that ball off. Another long pitch at bat.
Pilar flies that in shallow right center. Fighting it. Pedroia lost it in the sun. 1 run scores. They do get an out at second, as having to wait was Valencia. But Pedroia started to go back and then realized he could not find the ball. 1 run does score.
Wow. The defense of the Boston Red Sox, little things that we haven't seen in the past, have really hurt him. You can see Pedroia normally sure hand, he's waving guys off and then loses the ball, just can't pick it back up. But a heads up play by Diaza. He's saying, hey, I can't see the ball, I don't know where it is. Diaza finds it and he's able to get the runner at second base.
That is a fielder's choice. 9-6 on the out for Valencia. The Blue Jays are able to bring home Colabello and a 3-0 lead.
Well, that could have been disastrous, I think, for the Boston Red Sox. That ball falls and they cannot record an out. At least they got the out at second base.
Pedroia knew where he was supposed to go, but then just lost it in the sun. Gets by. Owens very quickly puts the stop sign up for Russell Martin, who's at third. Didn't get far enough away from Swihart. But Martin did start down the line.
Yeah, he was thinking about trying to score on that heads up play by Pilar as he moves into scoring position on that wild pitch. And that's what the outfielders and infielders have to deal with this afternoon, that high sky.
Wild pitch puts Pilar at second, Martin at third. Goins holds up. Had to back away. Yeah, first 3 starts, just 1 earned run, 20 2/3. Today, 3 earned runs and just 3 2/3. Fly ball right field. Back it goes. Back it goes. It's gone. What do you think about that? A 3-run home run. Ryan Goins clears the right field wall into the Jays bullpen. And Toronto now has a 6-0 lead.
You know, we have been watching the bottom of this lineup in this series come alive. Yeah, and we talked about Ryan Goins having good at bats and coming up with big hits. How about this one right here off of the left-hander? Tries to slip that fastball by him, but he's a little bit too quick. His swing has become a little bit shorter. It's been a little bit more aggressive. And wow, what a hit. The Blue Jays do cash in those runs. A big 3-run home run.
6-0 in the 4th inning.
And a Blue Jay fan gets the baseball. How appropriate is that? That one looked like it bounced in the bullpen area of the Blue Jays.
And now, top of the order, Jose Reyes, 9th man to the plate in this 4th inning. Reyes sends that down the first baseline foul.
Boy, they've had a 9-run inning. They've had a 3-run inning. Now they have a 6. I mean, this offense is rolling right now.
Well, as you said, 7.5 runs in the streak per game. And they're at 6 now. Reyes takes up high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A little action in the Sox bullpen. Stephen Wright. Reyes strikes out, and that ends a very long inning for Eduardo Rodriguez. He gives up 6 runs. The big blast from the number 9 hitter Ryan Goen sends it over the wall into the Jays bullpen. 6-0 Jays.
On Sportsnet. Presented by the 2015 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, Boston's been a very comfortable place for the Blue Jays this weekend. Won the first 2 games in this series, trying to complete the sweep, and here's the young man who certainly helped Goins made it 6-0 with a 3-run shot. He got it going indeed. Now playing the shift. Marco Estrada facing Ortiz, Bogarts, and Sandoval. Clay Buchholz talking to Rodriguez. As a veteran trying to help out the kid.
Yeah, first time that he's been hit hard in 4 big league starts. He was hit hard that last inning.
Ortiz walked in the first inning. Chops it foul down the first base side. Yeah, the longest win streak this season in the majors was the New York Mets' 11-game winning streak. The Blue Jays and the Astros are at 10 right now as the Blue Jays try to move into that top spot and a share of it with the Mets, who they see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Yeah, 4-game series with the Mets. And Blue Jays right now, everything's working for him. Just come out one day, just try and win another day. You know what I mean? You're not thinking about what you did in the past, what's in the future. Just what can I do today to win a ball game?
Ortiz, roller, and the shift was on, and it's Goins who gathers it up in shallow right. Well, as mentioned, off to New York for 2 at Citi Field as Pat Tabler can punch his stadium tour card,
yes,
right? You get to see Citi Field.
I think that's the only one I have not played in or broadcast in, Citi Field. So we get to see the Mets for the first time tomorrow.
And then they head home 2 against the Mets, and then they see Baltimore, then head to Tampa. So they do have some American League East opponents in there after the 4 games with the Mets. Blue Jays now are 16-14 against American League East rivals. Trying to make it 17 wins and improve their lot to an 11-game win streak. The home run by Goins was the 78th for the Blue Jays and 32nd on the road. Bogaerts lined out to Donaldson, starting off a double play.
Marcos Estrada still hasn't been as crisp as we have seen him in the past. He's got some runs to work with now, but he hasn't found that good changeup yet. He hasn't been able to put the fastball where he needs to. That ball looked like it was fouled off.
Did it clip him? Yeah. Bogaerts said, "Got me in the hand."
And we're going to get some help from the umpires now. I think Russell Martin right away said that was a foul ball off the knob of the bat. Where, it happened so quickly, but it sounded like it might have got the bat.
And Alan Porter wants some advice.
Fastball again that gets away, up and in, and yeah, that hit the bat. It sounded like it hit the bat. Just listen.
Yeah, he pulled off the bottom hand and ball hit that where his hand had been.
Yeah, initially it looked like it called hit by pitch. Bogaerts was claiming that ball hit him, but it looked like he tried to get out of the way, drop the bat, and it hit the bat. A lot of times umpires will go by the sound of that, and my first reaction was that sounded like it hit wood, like it was a foul ball.
We got both skippers on the steps. I think one of them may complain no matter what the result is.
They're not going to win this argument. Somebody's going to be upset. They're calling foul ball.
And here comes John Farrell. So as mentioned, somebody was coming out of the dugout
and wants an explanation right there. And he wants to take a look at it. I think fair or foul ball, if the ball hits the bat or not, is a reviewable play. I don't think hit by a pitch is a reviewable play. So once they called that it was a foul ball, John Farrell says, let's take a look at it. And I think they're going to verify that this ball, you can see the fastball coming up and in. Watch him start to drop the bat with that right hand, and it hits the bat.
Yep. Bottom hand, you can see him bail on it, and then left the bat for the ball to hit. Making the boys in New York busy.
Yeah, this is the second one today.
The first one was on the stolen base, and Kevin Pillar basically said, no, I'm safe. I'm going to stay right here.
Yeah, on that play, the ruling came back in, and they reviewed all relevant angles, and the replay official definitely determined that the runner's foot touched second base prior to the fielder applying the tag, so that call was overturned.
And now this one is, you're going back to the batter's box.
It's a foul ball. It's a foul ball. You could see that from our replay. You can see John shaking his head right now, but that's frustration that this team's losing and they don't seem to be getting any of the calls. He asked for the replay. That's why, again, replay was put in, and that verified that ball hit the bat first.
Well, he was grumpy on the first review and going to be a little grumpier now. Bogaerts steps in. 2-2 the count. Curveball missing. Full count now. Bounce to first, and Colabello calls off Estrada and makes the play. There's 2 down.
And that adds insult to injury right now. John Farrell thought he had a runner at first base and nobody out. Now the ground out. 2 outs, nobody on. And I'll tell you, I've been in those situations. I've played on teams like that where you just can't seem to catch a break. And it's frustrating. And it's hard. It's hard to keep coming to the ballpark, but you have to push through it. It's tough.
The thing about this game too, with the 162 games in a season, the highs can be very high, but the lows can be incredibly deep. Sandoval, high, drifting into left center field, off the scoreboard. Down hard goes Pilar. He's still down. Sandoval still running the big Pandas at third. Both outfielders may have rattled against the wall, Pilar and Valencia. Valencia now is down on one knee. Pilar just getting up.
You know, both of them just didn't look real comfortable on that play. First of all, from the left hand, that ball's going to be slicing back, and it looked like Pilar called it. And when they collided, it looked like Kevin might have stepped on Danny Valencia right here. Pilar calls him off, and watch him step right on his foot right there. Pilar twisted his ankle. Valencia got stepped on as the ball looked like it could have been a catchable ball. By the time Valencia runs that ball down, it's going to be a triple, man on third base, and 2 outs. That ball was really, it went up in the air and just sliced towards the left fielder, Valencia. But Pilar looked like he called him off, and Pandas at third base.
That is just the 3rd hit for the Red Sox. Triple, 2 out, bottom of the 4th. Estrada now working against Piazza. Gets him with a off-speed pitch for strike. Oh, he was fooled on that.
That was the big curveball. I think that's going to be a good pitch for Estrada once he starts working it. We haven't seen it yet. It's almost like he's holding it back for the right situation.
And the appeal safe, says Brian O'Nora at third. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Good idea. High fastball after you threw that breaking ball. See if he would chase.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Piazza was called out on strikes in the 2nd inning. He was the first of 3 strikeout victims that Estrada has had in this game. Just reaches out, fouls it away into the crowd just past third base. Sky. Donaldson's got his hand up. He's being called off by Reyes, and in foul territory, Reyes makes the catch to end the inning, leaving Sandoval at third. Time now for a Blue Jays Central update. Let's join Jamie Campbell and Cliff Floyd.
Looking for the perfect gift for dad? How about a pair of tickets to the Blue Jays game? On Sunday, June 21st, Father's Day, the Blue Jays host the Orioles at 1:07 p.m. Daughters and sons bring dad to the ball game. Go to BlueJays.com for tickets.
Well done, Barry. As the weekends got on, you got everybody involved in the Father's Day. There's the Colabello family, and they're enjoying seeing Chris at work. Right now, I think they're enjoying to see Chris's team at work, too. 6 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Blue Jays. Red Sox, no runs, 3 hits. And a ground ball by Donaldson, who got it started in the 4th inning. He grounds it to short. Jose Bautista singled and scored in the 4th. As the youngster, the left-handed Eduardo Rodriguez, remains at work.
That's good. You know, he got roughed up pretty hard last inning in the 6th inning. Now, this is what all managers want to see. How do you respond to that type of inning? What are you going to do when you come back out there? You got to face 2, 3, 4. Some of the best hitters the Blue Jays have to offer. Let's see what type of player. Everybody from the Red Sox said that this guy, for 22 years old, looks like he's been in the big leagues for a long, long time.
And, you know, he probably benefited from the words that Clay Buchholz gave him in the dugout there. Hit hard shot, and Sandoval able to come up with it and make the play. A little surprised that landed in his glove as it top was a little short.
The 2015 Honda Civic is Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
And there's Fenway Park. Edwin Encarnacion, RBI single, drove in the first Blue Jays run.
He's always good for a home run, isn't he, in the series here at Fenway Park?
Well, he's like playing here.
He and Bautista have always enjoyed coming to Fenway Park and hitting.
Well, he's not going to hit, but he is going to waltz down first. Let's head back to Blue Jay Central and Jamie Campbell with an update. Well, the New York Mets have been playing so well. Atlanta came back last night to beat them, because the Mets were almost automatic when they had a lead in the 9th. Another fly ball, and Pedroia leaves it. It drops in again, and they continue to run. This will score a run. Edwin Encarnacion scores from first as Colabello sent this sky high, and everybody converged on it. Nobody caught it.
Yeah, there were 4 players around the ball that time for John Farrell's team right there, and none of them can come up with it. Credit Edwin Encarnacion, who was running hard the whole way from first base. That ball was straight up in the air by Colabello. It looked like Pedroia was calling, then he was called off, and then the shortstop came off of it. And watch this. He goes after the ball. Diaza, both of the infielders are called off by the outfield. He goes after the ball and then loses it. Kicks it, drops it, and then allows Encarnacion to score from first base, who was hustling.
It's a single and an RBI for Chris Colabello. You can see Pedroia bailed on it. Bogarts bailed on it.
Kicks it, goes to pick it up, falls down. By that time, no chance to get Edwin.
Not pretty, but I'm sure the Colabello family loved it.
You know what? And that's how it goes when you're winning. The opposite ends of the spectrum here. That's how it goes when you're winning, like the Blue Jays are now. Those type of balls fall in. when you're struggling like the Boston Red Sox are struggling now, that's what it looks like. Even the simplest plays become very difficult.
I was trying to remark, everybody had a look at it.
That's a hopeless feeling right there. Very helpless.
Russell Martin singled, drove in a run, scored fourth. Drives this one into left field. It will drop in. Gets into the corner. Colabello rolls around first. Martin is going, having trouble in the corner. Here comes Colabello to the plate. There'll be no throw, and the Blue Jays add another. Martin's at second.
You know, and another very poor defensive play by the Boston Red Sox, this time by Hanley Ramirez. Again, he's a shortstop by trade, trying to play left field here. And this is a tricky place to play left field. When that ball gets down in that corner, it's liable to bounce anywhere. You just got to stay back away from the ball and then field it. Watch how it comes off and then by him. I mean, not a real good effort as he tries to reach down with his bare hand. And that allows the runner, once again, Colabello, to score all the way from first base.
Double and an RBI for Russell Martin. He's now 2 for 3 and driven in 2. Strange. We've seen Pedroia lose it in the sun once, then Pedroia, Bogarts, Diaza, and Castillo lose it. I'll wait as the new pitcher takes over. Stephen Wright in for Eduardo Rodriguez, with the Blue Jays leading 8-0.
8 games for Stephen Wright. He's a knuckleball pitcher like R.A. Dickey. 3-2 with a 340 earned run average for Stephen Wright. There are his numbers, 12 walks. So the Blue Jays are going to have to make sure that knuckleball gets over the plate.
Driving this hard, Danny Valencia, back it goes! And over the monster on the Lansdowne. A home run. The Blue Jays just keep ripping it up. 9-0. Add one more, make it 10. Because Martin was aboard.
Wow. I think he knew what was coming. Right there, Danny Valencia, when guys get on base in scoring position, he is ready to swing that bat. Right-handed, left-handed, knuckleball pitcher, it didn't matter. That ball left at this ballpark, left here in a hurry. All of this coming with 2 outs. 2 quick outs, a couple of ground outs, then a walk to Encarnacion. And this knuckleball inner half, see you later. But the base hit by Colabello in the sun, the double by Martin that was mishandled by the left fielder.
Left him aboard, yeah.
By Valencia.
2-run shot now.
10-zip.
Whoa. 6-run fourth. Now 4 runs in the 5th. And a base hit as Pilar keeps it going.
Well, it's been a tough week for John Farrell in the Boston Red Sox. They had the problem in Baltimore with Wade Miley and saw an 8-1 lead evaporate here in a Blue Jays win. And now 10-0 in the 5th. It's been a tough week for John.
Jays have 10 hits now. Right. Deals to Goins. Goins hit a 3-run home run over the wall in right his last at bat. And that was in the 4th inning, the 6-run 4th. Got Pilar at first, 2 out.
Well, that is a slow knuckleball. You know, we're used to seeing R.A. Dickey's knuckleball, upper 70s, 80 miles an hour. That one is in the 60s.
And Goins strikes out right, though. Gave up the 2-run blast to Danny Valencia. And a big blast indeed. A 4 spot in the 5th, and the Blue Jays are up 10-0. Authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Well, they got him dancing. The monster. That's the Fisher Cat. That's Fungo from the Fisher Cats. The mascot was in there doing a little dancing. Barry Davis and Pat Tabler. I'm Rob Folds in for vacationing Buck Martinez, and the Blue Jays looking to sweep here in Fenway Park with a 10-0 lead into the bottom of the 5th. Marco Estrada got a cushion to work with.
Yeah, he's got something to work with. You're right. 10 runs, and now he can be a little bit more aggressive. And again, watching Marco, he just hasn't looked comfortable on the mound yet today. He hasn't been able to throw the fastball where he needs to. But he's grinding it out. He's trying to find a way.
Castillo, leadoff walk, followed by Swihart and Pedroia. Let's check in with Barry Davis.
Thank you very much, Rob. And following today's game, the Blue Jays are expected to let us know officially the deal with Aaron Sanchez. As you all recall, he was pulled from his last start last week in Toronto, was expected to return to the rotation Tuesday night in New York. Well, he's still not 100% yet, and it appears as though he will be headed to the DL, backdated to that last start, so he can miss one more. Scott Copeland, who pitched so well in his absence, is expected to be in the lineup and pitch for the Blue Jays Tuesday in New York.
Yeah, I would imagine Scott Copeland's checking his phone messages quite often.
Yeah, that's the only way that he'd be able to come back up to the major leagues, because after you're sent back down, he needed 10 days to be down there unless there was an injury. And if the Blue Jays have to put Aaron on the disabled list, and I think they should, for precautionary reasons, just clear that spot. You're also going to New York for a couple of games where there's no DH and there's more pinch hitting. You might see another move by the Blue Jays to try and get another everyday player onto the roster. So we'll see. But don't you agree with Sanchez? If he has to go on the disabled list, he'd miss the one start anyway. And if you backdate it,
then it works out perfectly. The math is there.
The math is there. 21st next Sunday would be the day for him to come on.
Swihart just reached out, singles out into right field on the run. Castillo goes first to third. Now the Red Sox are trying to respond.
Well, Dustin Pedroia said it. He said, we're not going to cry about the way we're playing. We're just going to come out here and just try to keep competing and keep battling and battle our way through it. And that's the only way you do it. Swihart with a pretty good at bat. First two reach here in the bottom of the fifth inning.
And at the top of the order, Pedroia checks in. He's singled. Popped up shallow center. Pedroia gets under this one. Fly ball into right. Bautista loses it two in the sun. Drops in front of him. A run scores. Castillo scores from third, and this time Pedroia knows exactly the feeling that Bautista is going through, and he will take it.
You know, the run was going to score anyway because it was a fly ball deep enough, but Bautista looking straight up into the sun, and then it just won't come out of that sun. It won't come out of that sky up there, the sun, and normally he plays that ball as well as anybody, and it falls for another hit. Tell you what, get your right field stroke out today.
Yeah. Brock Holt 0 for 2. Drives this to center field. Pilar on the run. He's got his glove up. Makes the play. Gets the ball in quickly, and holding at second is Swihart. That's the first out in the bottom of the fifth. Let's join Jamie Campbell with an update. Well, I'm sure that the Blue Jays will be interested to see how that one finishes. One out, first and second. Swihart is at second, Pedroia at first, and Hanley Ramirez walked in the first, popped out to second in the third inning. Fastball, ball one, 1-1. Ramirez signed by the Red Sox, and then they asked them to move to left field.
and play a very difficult left field here in Fenway Park. This is a tough field to navigate your way around. He was signed for his bat.
Yeah.
Okay. They lost Cespedes. They traded him to the Detroit Tigers for Rick Porcello. So they needed another bat. He was a free agent. They were able to sign him to a big contract. And he's playing left field. And he's got the best production numbers on this team.
And he grounds the ball up the middle. Rounding third, Swihart. Here comes the throw. Play the plate. He's safe. Sox at another. Ramirez for his production drives in his 33rd run of the season.
Walked in his first time up, popped up his second time up, and then picks on a breaking ball. This time from Marco Estrada. The ball was up, and he singles sharply into center field. Good jump at second base by Swihart, the catcher. Pilar was playing deep. I didn't think he had any chance at getting the runner at the plate. And he comes up firing.
Getting a little bit of activity in the Blue Jays bullpen. Some bodies getting up, swinging their arms around. David Ortiz. Fastball, ball one.
And I think Russell Martin is asking where that one was. It looked like it might have been at the top of the strike zone. I'm starting to move around now.
Inside, busts him with the fastball.
He just has not been able to throw his fastball where he needs to yet today. Hasn't found that release point. It's been a battle for Marco all afternoon. He's trying to battle his way through this start. Blue Jays offense have given him a lot of runs to work with.
Takes a strike on the changeup. Two runs are in for the Red Sox in the bottom of the fifth. Went after it, and he was thinking a 3-run shot.
He was thinking big fly from Big Papi. Teams have been pounding him up like that. Liam Hendricks got him yesterday with a high fastball in a very tight situation.
Fouls it back.
I don't know if you'd want to throw him an off-speed pitch here for a strike. And I don't think David Ortiz would swing at a curveball in the dirt. I think he's too disciplined as a hitter. I think you'd be doing him a favor throwing a changeup or an off-speed pitch for a strike.
The 2-2.
And that's why they keep bumping fastballs at him.
Hitting just .225, 8 home runs, got one of them yesterday. It was a solo shot. 25 runs batted in. Walked and grounded out this afternoon. Ortiz drives that. Right field, that's a long way gone. A big fly indeed, and 3 runs for Ortiz with the home run.
That's 9 RBIs in his last 7 games and his 3rd homer in his last 4 games. That followed a streak after no home runs in his previous 17 games. 475th career home run. He now ties Stan Musial and Willie Stargell. And it's a pitch up and out over the plate. And how many times have you seen this from David Ortiz? That classic finish. High finish. And the Red Sox get 5 runs back very quickly here in the inning.
And, yeah, Strada, ooh. It's 10-5, starting to turn around Fenway after the Blue Jays scored 6 in the 4th, added 4 in the top of this inning to make it 10-0, and now we're seeing the Red Sox charge back. Bogarts tried to add a little noise of his own. Lined into a double play and grounded out. Ryan Tepera starting to heat up. Fly ball right field. Bautista tracks it this time without a problem. That's the second out. Join Jamie Campbell again for an update. A man 2 for 2 today with a triple and a single. Pablo Sandoval drives this one out of the park as this one clears the top deck. His triple was the one that had Valencia and Pilar meeting at the scoreboard in left center field, banging into one another. But he could not be cashed in from third. Takes a big swipe there. The fastball.
There's something about Blue Jay pitching that brings out the best in Pablo Sandoval. For his career, he's a .320 hitter. This year, over 400.
Ground ball. Donaldson, very nice job to corral it, makes the play, and that ends a busy, noisy 5th inning. The Blue Jays had 4 runs at the top of the 5th and 5 for the Sox in the bottom of the 5th. 10-5, Jays lead.
You'll earn 5,000 first-use bonus points redeemable for 7 free on-demand movies with no annual fee. Apply today. Rob?
Barry, thanks so much. Blue Jays facing Stephen Wright. And it's Jose Reyes who will start things off. Top third of the Blue Jays order: Reyes, Donaldson, Bautista. Very nice play by Donaldson to end the Boston 5-run bottom of the fifth.
And we got a game again.
Yeah.
I think 5 runs is nothing here in this ballpark. So the Blue Jays have to go back to work offensively.
Stephen Wright had a long chat with R.A. Dickey on Friday night before the series began.
I hope he didn't give away any secrets to that knuckleball.
Reyes chops it up, and it will be foul. This is on Friday night. The two of them discussing trade secrets, maybe.
You see that all the time when knuckleball pitchers, they run into each other. They start talking about, all right, how do you hold that? What are some of the keys for you when you're trying to throw the knuckleball? It happens all the time.
Jose Reyes now has an 11-game hit streak as he pokes that into center field. And the leadoff man is aboard in the top of the 6th.
Stephen Wright's knuckleball is a little bit different than R.A. R.A.'s maximum effort. He's got a lot of thrust behind it, a lot of speed behind it. His is more of a floating type of knuckleball. They were both conventional pitchers and then had to switch to the knuckleball.
Donaldson walked, singled, and scored, and grounded out. Saw that knuckleball come in, looked pretty tempting. It's 0-2, so Wright is ahead.
Well, you could run on him, I think, with that knuckleball. It's going to put a lot of pressure on a young catcher, Blake Swihart.
And Wright knows that Jose Reyes is not afraid to take off. Reyes 9 steals in 10 attempts.
You can see that glove from Swihart. It's basically an exaggerated first baseman's glove. A little bit bigger webbing.
Fouled back. Now it was Swihart who caught Reyes stealing on Friday.
A little bit more leather to help corral that ball. I mean, it looks like first baseman's glove. The webbing of it, you can see, is a little bit different than a normal catcher's glove.
You're seeing a 90-mile-an-hour fastball to see Wright come in there and mix it up 70 miles, 75.
Well, what you have to do as a hitter against a knuckleball pitcher is you have to see the ball before you start to stride and start your swing.
Donaldson sees that outside.
What you can't do is you can't go out there and get it. You can't go out and get that pitch. You got to let it come to you, and then you can start your swing. Again, it's only about 68, 70 miles an hour.
One ball, 2 strikes. Big cut at it and a strikeout for Wright. Let's join Jamie Campbell once again. Wright now has 2 strikeouts. Man on first, and Jose Bautista takes strike 1. Get things started. Bautista hit into a double play. Singled and scored in that big 6-run fourth.
That's his best knuckleball right there. That had some late movement to it. John Farrell trying anything right now. Nothing has worked for him in this series, pitching wise. They had their hottest pitcher going today, and the Blue Jays roughed him up. Now they're trying to give him a different look with the knuckleball pitcher, just to try and slow down this offense. You give him something different to look at. You don't have that conventional over-the-top type of pitcher. You got that knuckleball pitcher. Anything, as a manager, trying anything to slow him down.
Quick toss over to keep Reyes tight. And again, and this one rolls away from Holt, but not far enough for Reyes to do anything with it.
I think the Red Sox are sensing that Jose Reyes at first base wants to try and steal second. He's got a very good lead at first base.
And did he go? Yes, he did, says first base umpire Mark Ripperter. And Bautista is strikeout number 3 for Wright since coming in, and the second in this inning. Back-to-back Ks now for the knuckleballer.
Threw that one a little bit harder, and you can see from that replay just went a little bit too far, and I think he knows it.
And a strike to Encarnacion, who has singled, driven in a run, walked and scored. Catches up with this one. Sandoval goes down on one knee, makes the play, throws it across, and the leadoff single. Not able to do anything with it after 5.5 innings. It's 10-5 Blue Jays.
Club. Members receive a Blue Jays cap, stainless steel water bottle, and a nylon wallet, as well as front of the row line access to run the bases. Membership is only $24.99. Sign up today at bluejays.com/kids. Rob?
Lots of kids in the ballpark today on this Sunday afternoon. Blue Jays lead the Red Sox by a 10-5 score. The little one's not giving up on that. You should buy some regular food instead of just the cap. Here's Ryan Tepera.
Tepera, 7 games this season. Last work against Miami, that was 6 days ago, and boy, was he ever bringing it. He was touching 98, 97 miles an hour with his fastball in that inning against the Marlins. 8 1/3 innings this season for Ryan. Fastball, slider, curveball, a little bit of everything. He hasn't walked a batter. He's had 7 strikeouts for his career. He's faced the Boston Red Sox just one game, a couple of innings, but he's never faced him here at Fenway.
So Tepera will see Diaz, Castillo, and Swihart in his first work. Off the fist, shallow, and it will be caught by Pilar. What a play. He just kept on coming, wouldn't give up.
You know, he's ferocious, if you will, in the outfield. You never know where rallies come from. If that ball falls in, you just don't know what's going to happen with this inning. But Kevin Pilar comes hard charging from center field. He never gives up on the play. And you can see how deep he is and where he was playing. And a dive, and again, another fantastic catch by Pilar to get the first out here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, that's worth some applause from the man on the mound. It looked like it was going to drop into no man's land. We've seen that a couple of times today. But Pilar never quit. Great speed.
Hard charging. And again, you know, that ball falls in. You don't know what this inning's going to do.
Castillo, roller. Donaldson up with it. On the move, makes a very nice play. The Blue Jays had a 10-0 lead. Then Estrada ran into some trouble in the bottom of the 5th. 5 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, it won't end up looking very pretty, but he got those 10 runs to work with. And again, Marco was struggling really from the 1st inning through that 5th inning, just trying to find that release point and find where he can get that ball over the plate. He grinded out through 5 innings.
A very deliberate pitcher, too.
Yeah.
He takes his time.
Well, I think that was, he wasn't feeling right on the mound, but if the Blue Jays can hold it, he will be in line for his 3rd straight win.
Ground ball, right to Colabello, and he'll get over, touch the bag, and that's a very quick inning by Tepera. 1, 2, 3, a fly ball out, 2 ground ball outs, and what a catch by Pilar.
At 1:07 p.m. and that is Blue Jays White Panel Hat Day presented by Jack Links. First 20,000 fans will receive one of those great retro Blue Jays White Panel hats. Go to BlueJays.com for more, and those hats remind me of the day that the Blue Jays were here at Fenway Park, guys, down 10-0 and came back and won. Hopefully for the Blue Jays' sake, they do not lose this 10-0 lead.
I don't think they're going to, Barry.
No,
I think everything's going to be just fine. But I do like that hat.
Yeah, that's good.
Don't you think they should wear that maybe on Sundays or something like that at home or on the road?
Throwback Thursdays.
Yeah.
Soft little line drive drops in for Colabello, and he starts things off in the 7th with a single. And let's go back to Blue Jay Central and Jamie Campbell. (10-5) is the score for the Blue Jays here in the top of the 7th.
Everything that the Blue Jays have done in this series, and they played a great series, I think this is the MVP right here, Russell Martin. We talked about the triple that he had on Friday night, which was the game winner, put him ahead, and then the game-winning home run yesterday. He also had to battle with R.A. Dickey behind the plate, that knuckleball. He had the 3 pass balls yesterday, but it didn't bother him. And now he's got 2 more hits today. A single, a double. He scored a couple of runs. This guy behind the plate, this is the best pickup I think the Blue Jays have had. We talked about that earlier, about all the acquisitions that they did in the offseason. This is the finest one right here.
It's allowed the pitching staff, gives him an anchor there. The pitching, he's comfortable with the pitchers. Pitchers like throwing to him. And along with Josh Donaldson, gives him a real nice, it gives a different, maybe a different voice in the clubhouse.
Well, that's true. He's definitely a leader of the pitching staff, and he says it's taken him a while to learn his pitchers and learn the league on how to pitch to them.
3-2 pitch.
But for me, no question, what he has done defensively would be the MVP, but offensively you can see what he has been doing for the Blue Jays. This is his on base plus his slugging by team. When he was with the Dodgers, it was 761. The New York Yankees and Pittsburgh, it went back up to 764. But this year with the Blue Jays, he's up to 873. He had his 10th home run yesterday, making the Blue Jays the 4th team in baseball with double-digit home run hitters. So Russell Martin, on top of the great defense, you're going to get some good offense.
This ball gets away from Swihart, and the runners will move up. So runners now at 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. And again, that's the dilemma of a catcher trying to catch a knuckleballer.
Yeah, now you have to take advantage of it right here. That knuckleball is moving. Swihart, you can see him side saddle behind the plate like that, just letting that ball come to him. And that time it's off the glove. And now the infield has to come in.
Danny Valencia grounds it right to Sandoval, who looks back the runner and makes the play across. He looked right at Colabello and said, don't even think about it, then makes the play.
You know, your first reaction as a base runner when you're at third base like that in the infield is to take a couple of steps towards home plate. Good job by Colabello to hold up, make that ball go through, or he would have been a dead duck at the plate.
Pablo Sandoval made a little eye contact with Colabello and kept him there. Mound conference. 1 out, runners at 2nd and 3rd.
This is Carl Willis, the pitching coach for the Boston Red Sox, talking to Stephen Wright. They've got a left-hander warming up in the bullpen. That's Tommy Lane. And I think what he's reminding him, hey, you got first base open right here. You don't have to give Pilar a good pitch to hit. Kevin's been on 3 times today with a couple of hits. There's Tommy Lane warming up. You got a left-hander and Goins behind him and Reyes after him. If you walk him, that's not going to be a bad thing.
Kevin Pillar made a brilliant catch. There's more of the same from Pillar. Bottom of the 6th. Gets under this. Oh, in the sun, who's calling for it now? Pedroia calls everybody off. Makes the play. Well, that got into that danger zone that Pedroia had struggled with earlier.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit later in the day, so the sun is setting just a little bit more as John Farrell makes his way out, so it becomes a little bit easier to handle the balls. This is earlier. Watch the sun benefit the Blue Jays as that ball falls down, and this is the big one right here. Pedroia thinks he has it. He's called off by Bogarts. He's called off by the outfielders. A run will score on that one. And then after Russell Martin hits this ball down the left field line, Ramirez boots it around a little bit. So it's been a tough day for the defense of the Boston Red Sox. That's why you heard that cheer after that ball was caught.
And for the 3rd straight game, Tommy Lane will come to the mound in relief. Blue Jays leading by 5. of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Fourth inning, and the Blue Jays had already scored 3 runs when Ryan Goins steps to the plate, and for the second time this season, he's able to show off his home run trot as he drives that ball into the bullpen of the Blue Jays. A 3-run home run doubling the score, the drive of the game. Brought to you by Ryan Goins with one swing of the bat, and now he's got another chance with a couple of runners on and 2 outs, but he's in tough against a tough left-hander. This is Tommy Lane for the 3rd straight day. We will see him. He only pitched to 2 batters yesterday. That was in the 7th inning also. He faced Ryan Goins and Jose Reyes. Got both of those players to ground out. He has been tough. Good fastball and a good breaking ball. Tough spot right here now. Goins has been known to maybe drop a bunt down in this situation when he's facing a tough left-hander.
Yeah, Tommy Lane came in, and 2 batters he faced both tried to drop bunts on him, so I'm sure he's expecting it. You see Sandoval on the infield grass.
Yeah, he is way in, anticipating that bunt from Ryan Goins. Ryan has had a good series.
Colabello's at 3rd, Martin at 2nd. 2 out. Ryan Goins drives this into left center field. It will drop in right at the track. 1 run scores, another scores. Castillo a little trouble, and Goins continues to roll. Sliding into 3rd. He's safe.
Told you he has had a very, very good series for the Blue Jays, and he comes up with yet another big hit for the Blue Jays against a tough left-hander. The whole key to that at bat for Goins was he was able to get ahead in the count and look for a fastball from Tommy Lane. Lefties have hit only 125 off of Lane this season, and he's going to touch him up for a double into the gap in left center field over the head of Rusney Castillo when he bobbles the ball. That's going to allow Goins to make it with an aggressive slide, knocks over the big panda at 3rd base with that slide.
Like running into a wall at 3rd. He's okay. He ends up at 3rd. A double drove in 2. It was the 3rd on the error.
You know, that's a big hit because the Blue Jays have runners at 2nd and 3rd and nobody out. And there's another run coming in.
And Reyes cashes in. Goins, as he drives at almost the same spot as Goins. Reyes, though, takes the turn at 2nd, holds up. An RBI double, and the Blue Jays add yet another.
But they had 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. A ground out and a pop out, and they were at risk of not scoring any runs. Goins' hit took that away. That was a huge 2-out hit with runners in scoring position by the Blue Jays, and then Reyes follows suit with his 2nd hit.
13-5. Josh Donaldson. Abby, we have seen, 75 runs in the first 10 games in this 10-game streak, and now 13 now. You ever seen an offense like this?
Yeah, the Big Red Machine.
Yeah,
in the 1970s. But Blue Jays had a pretty good offensive team in 92 and 93 and the 80s. But this is a team right now that's working well together.
Donaldson ground ball, Bogarts up with it, and that ends the inning. But the Blue Jays add 3 more in the top of the 7th, a 13-5 lead. batted in. And he's you've also seen a little D here, as well as a huge amount of offense.
You know, the hitting, everybody's going to talk about that, but I think the defense in this series by the Blue Jays has been exceptional. How about this play by Kevin Pillar on Friday night to take away a base hit? And then we talked about Bautista. This was the game saver for me if he doesn't make this catch. In yesterday's ball game, we don't go to extra innings and the Blue Jays don't win it. And then today, Kevin Pillar back out there again, dealing with the sun, and that's a fine play last inning to take a hit away from Alejandro Diaz. So the Blue Jays defensively, we've also put a star next to that play by Josh Donaldson at third base today. They've done a little bit of everything. We're going to talk about the hitting, 14 hits and 13 runs, but the defense has been pretty good this series also.
Ryan Tepera came in relief of Marco Estrada. Estrada went 5. Tepera into his second inning of work at a 3-up, 3-down. Benefited from a very nice catch by Pillar in the 6th. To the bottom of the 7th, Pedroia, Holt, and Ramirez. Pedroia has had some trouble with the sun, but he's 2 for 3. A couple of singles, an RBI, and a run scored.
Came into this game again, raising his average in June. He was hitting 373 in the month of June to get that average up over 300.
Fly ball, and Bautista puts his hand up and says to Pillar, hold on, I got it.
Make your renovation a cut above during the DIY Expert Sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
There's a good look at the Crew Center, downtown Boston. And a short walk away is Fenway Park. The Blue Jays have been having some fun this weekend. Brock Holt, the batter.
It's a team, the Red Sox. They just try to make you work, and the best thing to do is just attack them.
Brock Holt now has a hit. He was 0 for 3 with 2 flyouts and a strikeout. Ground ball into left field.
He got a nice little stroke. He won the Easterling batting title when he was with Altuve, part of the Pittsburgh Pirates organization in 2012, with hits like this. Just takes that ball the other way. Nice little short stroke. Not a lot of power. You're not going to get that, but you're going to get a high on base percentage. You're going to get a lot of pitches seen, and you're going to get a lot of base hits from Brock Holt.
Hanley Ramirez singled, drove in a run, and scored in the 5th. It was the Red Sox 5-run 5th inning. Nice little counter after the Blue Jays had scored 4 in the top of the inning.
That's right. Exactly what they needed right there. A big number.
Tepera's fastball 95. Osuna is up. So too is Phil Koch.
Yeah, that's the newest Blue Jay right there, Phil Koch. And I'm sure he is for David Ortiz if John Gibbons feels he needs to go left on left.
Ramirez fouls that away. One ball, 2 strikes. Goins is shaded very close to, almost behind the bag at second. Ramirez gets under it. High, shallow left. And it is Reyes who calls it off. Makes the play, 2 out. Let's check in once again with Jamie Campbell and an update. John Gibbons just making sure everybody's in the right position with Big Pappy. Crushed the ball in the 5th inning. The shift is on, but he hit it over the shift. He hit it over the fence. He hit it over everything. That's when he rips foul. The second deck facing it into the crowd.
You know, and I like this. I like that he's leaving Ryan Tepera in to face David Ortiz. I thought maybe he would bring Phil Koch in, the lefty to face lefty. It's only the 7th inning, and Ortiz has had his problems with the high fastball, and Tepera's got a good fastball. Let's see if he uses it against him.
Little chopper foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Trotting back to first is Holt.
How about those numbers for Big Papi versus the Blue Jays? 56 home runs and 170 RBIs. That's over 225 games. I think those home runs broke a tie with A-Rod for the most home runs against the Blue Jays.
He's been adding to the total. The solo shot yesterday afternoon, the 3-run blast today. Sends it high, and that will drift into the seats.
Pretty good fastball right there from Tepera. Ortiz couldn't catch up to it.
Come in high and tight.
That's what I would do. So he can't extend those hands, those arms, catch the ball out in front.
2 balls, 2 strikes. He goes low in the dirt. Full count. Ball is high, and that's a walk. And Ortiz is aboard with a walk, his 2nd walk of the afternoon. And that moves Holt to 2nd. 2 out, 2 on. There's Andrew Bogaerts. Bogaerts is 0 for 3. Lined into a double play. Grounded back to first base and flied out to right. Misses away on Bogaerts. Hey, you don't want them to start building up any offense here. You got 2 runners on rather.
You don't even want to give him a thought of maybe coming back into this game. This is probably Ryan's last batter that he's going to face. So make it a good one. There's a good slider right there. Still throwing pretty hard.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out, and 2 on.
His longest outing has been 2 innings. He's done that a couple of times. Last time he did that against Houston. Trying to get 2 innings out of the bullpen at Ryan Tepera this afternoon.
Chased the pitch outside, fouled it back. 1-2.
This guy's going to be a tough out, I think. Bogarts. He's been hitting with runners in scoring position. There's the bullpen, Osuna and Koch. Koch would come in to face the left-handed hitting Pablo Sandoval. But you'd like to end the inning right here.
Did he go around? Yes, he did, and that's all. Tepera does a nice job in his 2 innings of work. And through 7, Jays have a 13-5 lead.
To your TV, you can catch every game live on the radio with the best broadcast team in the business. Jerry Howard, Joe Siddle, and Mike Wilner on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. And guys, I spoke with Jerry Howard yesterday. He said the throat is feeling so much better now, and he's hoping to get back in the booth calling games as early as tomorrow in New York.
Here we are right next door to Jerry, Joe, and Mike.
We got the best seats in the house, don't we? Right here near Fenway Park. You can look out over the Green Monster. You can look down and see the skyline at right field. I mean, it's just a beautiful ballpark, and it's a great game. Place to call a game right here.
Keith Hembry coming in.
Is now into the ball game. He will become the 4th pitcher, 3rd reliever for the Boston Red Sox this afternoon. Hembry pitched against Toronto the first night here. In fact, he threw 2 innings, 6 up, 6 down, and the Blue Jays could not figure him out. There are some other defensive changes. Travis Shaw just called up into the game.
Ground ball scooped by Brock Holt, who has moved to second for Pedroia, able to knock it down and make the play to Shaw. And let's join Jamie Campbell with an update. So Travis Shaw got a little action right away. They recalled Shaw from AAA Pawtucket, and to make room for him on the roster, right-handed pitcher Matt Barnes was sent down.
This is his 2nd stint with the big league club. He was up earlier this season. He's got a good-looking hitter.
Encarnacion's the batter. It's an RBI single in that 6-run 4th. Walked and scored in the 4-run 5th. Here we go. Almost. And you know what? That's good D by you. You had it ready.
A little bit lower. You have to be able to see the ball off the bat. I was ready for it. I wasn't going to reach outside.
No,
big guy.
No, I don't blame you.
You know, you just had that shot of us where we are.
Oh, yeah, that was
That's why
right
it's
there.
such a great vantage point here. Just be ready for it.
And you were up and ready.
And where were you, big guy?
You notice I was backing up?
Yes,
I was
did
going to go
notice
talk
that.
to Scott Carson in the second deck. Look at Tabby. He was already up.
I'm up. See, I wasn't going to reach outside there. No way. Look at the other booth over there. Did you notice that?
Encarnacion gets under it. And calling it in center field was Castillo, but Piazza was charging in on it. 2 out quickly. The work from Hembree.
So let me ask you, did you notice the booth,
no,
the radio booth next door?
They were bailing out the other way.
No. The other ball player was ready to catch it.
So Joe was there?
He was up. He was leaning over here. He was ready to help out the old guy.
Well, after seeing what happened when it got caught in the sun with Pedroia and everybody coming in, nobody calling it, that's why I backed off, because you had called it, basically.
Yeah, right.
No, it's my story.
Come on, I'm not going there. But thanks, Joe. Attaboy.
The two of you. 2 out, and then Chris Colabello. He has scored 3 runs today. He's got an RBI single. Hembree skips that into the plate and comes all the way over the netting and into the crowd. So Chris Colabello, who grew up in Massachusetts, has a huge cheering section here today, and I think he's done him proud.
Yeah, he really has. A couple of base hits today. Scored 3 runs, like you said.
He gets under this one. Drifting to his right is Rusty Castillo. He makes the play, and it's a 3-up, 3-down effort for Heath Hembree. Time now for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Cliff Floyd. Man on the mound and new to the Blue Jays, Phil Koch.
Here are his numbers in 16 games with the Cubs. He has pitched for the Tigers and the Yankees and Chicago. He was let go by the Cubs, and the Blue Jays picked him up. In those 16 games, his ERA was over 6. He knows all about the Boston Red Sox. He has faced the Red Sox plenty of times in his career. He's got a good fastball. He's still throwing 93, 94 miles an hour. Curveball, slider, changeup. So a little bit of everything. So he gets a chance now to impress his new team as Justin Smoke has been inserted at first base, taking over for Chris Colabello defensively.
Bottom of the 8th inning, Blue Jays leading 13-5. Sandoval, Piazza, and Castillo due up. Here's the lefty-lefty matchup. Said hello to Phil Koch on Friday, and he went through his roster of pitches, and he just kept going down. Got one of those, got one of those. And a pretty good checklist.
I didn't have enough paper to write all the pitches that he has down, but he could be nasty.
High and into the second deck by Sandoval.
And you notice that Sandoval is not hitting right-handed. He started the season as a switch hitter. batting right-handed against left-handed pitching, but he's only hitting .119 versus left-handed pitching, so he's given that up, and he's going to stay on the left side against Phil Koch.
He's 2 for 3 today. He's got a single and a triple. And a very nice play by Donaldson to ground him out in the 5th and end the 5th inning. And that was when the Red Sox made a little noise, and bye-bye Penda. Good effort by Koch.
Well, he went combination of fastball, breaking ball, and then with 2 strikes. I'm not going to mess around with anything off speed. Reaches back for a little fastball right there, 94, to pick up his first strikeout as a Blue Jay.
He was telling us about his start in Buffalo. He had one game called because of fog.
4 innings.
Yeah.
He was able to throw down in the minor leagues.
Diaz up 0 for 3. He got robbed of a hit on a very nice catch by Kevin Pillar in the 6th. .93-mile-an-hour fastball.
You want to make that good impression, don't you? When you go to a new team, you want to do something special for them. That has never changed in baseball. Phil Koch had his contract purchased from Buffalo just a couple of days ago, right before this series against the Boston Red Sox.
The Blue Jays will head to New York, play at Citi Field against the Mets. 4 games against National League team. 2 in New York, 2 in Rogers Center. Waiting to hear what kind of announcement John Gibbons and the Blue Jays will make about Aaron Sanchez. Will there be a call-up?
That is supposed to happen after this afternoon's ball game. And I'll tell you what, I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but err on the side of caution, I think, with the type of arm that you're dealing with.
Whoa, that turned into seats very quickly right next to the Red Sox dugout. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Alejandro Diaz. Diaz rips this one high and foul. And a very nice grab in the seats by the fan. Blue Jays have won 10 in a row. Longest win streak is 11 in franchise history. Did it in 87, 98, and 2013. And Diaz just standing there. It was interesting because he was looked at, kept waiting and waiting. Plate umpire Alan Porter said, "No, you're there. You're gone."
Yeah, I don't need any help from the third base umpire. That Brian O'Neill. He said, "I saw that all the way. You were not able to check your swing on this pitch, down and away." Right away, watch him. He points to him and then says, "You're out." So 2 down.
Hand on the hip might be a nice way to, I guess, encapsulate the way things have gone for the Red Sox. Just, well, here's Rusney Castillo. Takes a fastball for a strike. Koch's hitting 95 with his fastball. One ball, 1 strike. Used the slider. He's come in. He struck out Sandoval. Then got Diaz trying to close it out here in the bottom of the 8th, and his debut for the Blue Jays. Ground ball back to Koch. He turns. How's that for a welcome to Toronto? 3 up, 3 down, and he does the job for the Blue Jays in the 8th complete. It's 13-5 Toronto.
Ignite bundles. Find out how. Call 1-888-ROGERS-1. Hurry. Offer ends soon. Rob?
Very beautiful afternoon in Boston, Massachusetts, and right now the Blue Jays are trying to make it a beautiful weekend. Won the opening game 13-10 on Friday night. Needed extras yesterday afternoon for a 5-4 victory to extend their win streak to 10 games. Trying to make it 11 and a sweep of the Red Sox at Fenway. Jeff Bianchi comes in.
He takes over for Xander Bogaerts at shortstop. You know, the Blue Jays have had their hitting shoes on. Boy, 15 hits on Friday night in those 13 runs, 12 more yesterday, 14 more this afternoon.
So that's 41 hits that's turned into 31 runs. Keith Hembree getting another inning of work. Martin, Valencia, and Pilar due up here in the top of the ninth. Blue Jays with a nice, comfortable 8-run lead.
50 total runs scored this series, and Toronto has outscored them by 12 runs.
Whoa. Chin music for Martin. Got out of the way quickly.
This is the first batter that Heath Hembree's had some problems with. Friday night, 6 up, 6 down, 4 ground ball outs. Last inning, 3 up, 3 down, another ground ball out. This time up and in to Russell Martin.
The 2-1, and Martin strokes that over the glove of Bianchi at short and into left field. Let's join Jamie Campbell with an update. Nationals trying to keep moving along the division, fighting with the Mets. Fly ball, go out of the ballpark, and well, just about out to high upper deck.
Scherzer is the pitcher the Blue Jays beat to start this win streak.
Second game of that doubleheader.
Shows you the kind of stuff that he has.
Ground ball through the hole left side, and Martin goes to second as Valencia adds another hit. He had a nice 2-run home run.
Make your renovation a cut above during the DIY expert sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
First 2 runners on, couple of singles against Hembree. Martin at second, Valencia at first. And here's Kevin Pilar. Couple of singles today. Scored a run, drove in one. Blue Jays are off to New York City to face the Mets. First of 4 games against the Mets, 2 at Citi Field, 2 at Rogers Center. Pilar skies it. Calling for it. Shaw. He makes the play. And that's the first out. In the top of the ninth. Right now, as the day began, the Mets were a half game better than Washington. They had the same record as the Blue Jays as they began, 33-30.
And they will. The Blue Jays will get to face some of their prospects that they traded to the Mets in their R.A. Dickey trade.
Noah Syndergaard is supposed to go against the veteran Mark Burley tomorrow.
Travis d'Arnaud just came off the disabled list, and he is playing the last couple of days, so Blue Jays will be able to see some of their young players that they had.
Ryan Goins, he's got 5 runs batted in, career high. 3-run homer in the 4th. 2 runs on the double in the 7th. Been a busy man. Ground ball to second. There's one on to first. Double play. That ends the 9th. Leaves 2 runners on as the Blue Jays go to the bottom of the 9th with an 8-run lead.
Headlines, analysis, and schedules. Visit sportsnet.ca/Blue Jays or join this conversation at Sportsnet. And on sportsnet.ca right now, you can read a number of great stories from Shi Davidi, and one about Josh Naylor, the Canadian who was drafted in the 1st round, and what he can learn from Giancarlo Stanton. Both very, very big, powerful guys who can hit the ball a long way.
They can hit it a ton. Giancarlo Stanton did a really nice sit down with Hazel May. Talked about the way he hits the ball, and even in that scary moment when he got dinged in the side of the head. And Carrera's in defense. Bottom of the 9th inning. And for the Red Sox, Blake Swihart starts things in. Phil Koch gets another inning of work. Swihart singled and scored in the 5-run 5th inning for the Red Sox. He's grounded out and flied out.
Looked like they might have had a shot at getting back into this game after that 3-run home run by David Ortiz. But to the Blue Jays' credit, they came right back with 3 runs in that 7th inning. Kept the pressure on the Red Sox. Ryan Goins, the man this afternoon for the Blue Jays.
That's fouled on the 3rd baseline. Donaldson scoops it up, throws it into the starting to empty stands here in Fenway. Coming up after this ball game, Dodgers are visiting the Padres. Bolsinger against Shields. That's the schedule. And the starters, that's again after the ball game. Dodgers leading the NL West 36-26. Padres 32-32. 5 back.
Maybe feeling the heat from the San Francisco Giants a little bit. What do you think, Dodgers?
The Giants are starting to make a little bit of noise.
Yeah, they're just 2.5 games behind the Dodgers at start of play today.
Full count. Outside, and the leadoff man is on in the 9th. to the top of the order, but it's not Pedroia now. It is Shaw who gets his first at bat. Travis Shaw called up.
There are the numbers in AAA, and if that name sounds familiar, he's the son of a former big leaguer.
Jeff Shaw's kid.
Jeff Shaw's kid. He's got a nice looking swing. I saw him in spring training, and from the left side, it's a nice flat swing. Saw the numbers in Pawtucket.
Rips this foul into the seats. And you know what? I think that one benefited from maybe somebody leaving a little early, because that one rattled up. Didn't cause any damage. Coates ahead 0-2. Fastball.
Trying to paint that outside corner the last couple of weeks. Shaw down in the International League. That's AAA, the same league that Buffalo is in. It's Blue Jays AAA affiliate. He was leading that league over the last couple of weeks, hitting .380 against the AAAers, so he gets the call today.
One ball, 2 strikes. Man on first is Swihart, and here's Travis Shaw. Trying to impress bosses here in Boston. Reaches out and fouls that one away. Upper deck. Now we've got some fans on the field, and while they run, I'm going to ask you, here's a 10-game winning streak, Tabby, and what stands out the most for you in the 10-game streak?
Well, right now it seems like the Blue Jays are putting it all together. Offensively, it's just been a juggernaut for the Jays. They're hitting good pitching. As they get a chance to get to 11 games, they're pitching, they're starting to sort that out, and they're playing pretty decent defense. You know, one part, and we were listening to Russell Martin talk yesterday after the ball game, that he felt like the bullpen is starting to get settled. That was a really sore spot early in the year. It just wasn't sorted out for the Blue Jays. The roles weren't really defined. I think right now everybody's starting to get a feel of what John Gibbons wants and where he wants to put them. And the bullpen has been really good lately.
We talked about that in those first 2 games, how they kept everything quiet. Blue Jays offensively now in this 11th game have scored 88 runs.
Bo Schultz is getting up and starting to get loose, and he was one of the guys, Bo Schultz, I thought, in that game where the Blue Jays were behind early, 8-1. They needed some shutdown innings. They got it from their bullpen. He threw 2 2/3 innings on Friday night.
One ball, 2 strikes to Travis Shaw. Drives this one. Left center field, back on the warning track. Very nice catch for Carrera. Well, came in for his defense and showed it off. Get a little high five, low five there from Kevin Pillar. Crisscrossed.
That's why you put him out there. You put your best defensive team out there. You get them a chance to help the ball club win a game. You take Valencia out after he hit. Carrera just ran that one down. That looked like it was extra bases off the bat from Travis Shaw. Left center field, and here comes Carrera. Hauls it in.
And it forces Swihart back to first base. The 2 of them a little crisscross there, and yeah. Coke likes the D behind him. A little extra juice. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Brock Holt singled his last trip to the plate. 1 for 4, 2 fly ball outs and a strikeout. Continues working him inside. 2-0.
You know, you might be thinking to yourself, okay, well, why are the Blue Jays getting another reliever up when they have an 8-run lead in the 9th inning? Well, look at Phil Koch's pitch count, 28. I mean, you're risking losing him for tomorrow or maybe even Tuesday night in New York. And, you know, without the designated hitter, you're going to get a lot of changes, a lot of pitching changes. So you want to keep him as fresh as possible, trying to finish off 2 innings of relief.
And he loses him. Holt takes a walk. Keep looking in the dugout to see whether or not there's going to be any sign of the manager coming in.
Well, they got to get the sign from the bullpen that he's ready. That's why Russell Martin is out there to talk to Koch. They're waiting to make sure that he is loose. He just got up when when Travis Shaw was hitting.
And there's Schultz continuing to heat. Hanley Ramirez walks into the batter's box. He's got a single this afternoon and an RBI run scored. Koch has walked 2 in this inning. Benefited from some nice D by Carrera. A fly ball out to Shaw. Quite a series for the Blue Jays. 6 hits for Martin, Pilar, and Goins. Goins with 5 runs batted in. That's a career high today. $13 runs on 16 hits. 5 runs, 8 hits, and an error for the Red Sox. We've got 2 runners on. And a 2-1 count to Ramirez. The Blue Jay fans just trying to wait to see this to a close and an 11-game win streak. That's what they'd like to see and applaud. Two balls, 2 strikes. Full count again.
This got to be his last batter, doesn't it? They've got a pinch hitter on deck for David Ortiz. And Schultz should be warmed up now and ready to go. He has been extended in his first duty for the Blue Jays, his first outing.
Ramirez, fly ball. Bautista makes the catch, slipped a little bit, but gets the ball back in, and the runners had to freeze.
That is the toughest play right there. That is the one that's going to give the right fielder this time of the day the hardest. That line drive where it just doesn't get out of the sun. And Jose turned away right at the last second, and it found the glove. Right there, you see that head turned away, looking right in that sun. You're going to see sunspots now for a couple of seconds. That's what he's dealing with right there. But a good catch, and the runners could not tag up.
Sandy Leon coming in, get a chance to face Koch. And takes a strike. Fastball. Fastball's been sitting around 93.
Yeah, it's been very good. What a series for the Blue Jays. Offensively, defensively, pitching, relief pitching. They ran the bases well. Right now,
mix that up a little off speed, gets strike two.
They are rolling on all cylinders. And when you're playing games like this and winning games like they have been, you can't wait to get to the ballpark. You can't wait to contribute and help your team win that day's ball game.
Trying to get the W, move on to New York. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And the thing about it is, when on these types of roles that I've seen it for years and years and years, it's not the same guy day in and day out. Today it's been Ryan Goins. We saw a great series from Russell Martin. Reyes has been a spark plug. Pilar's been doing his thing. I mean, everybody has been contributing to this nice little run for the Blue Jays.
Takes a swing at it. Hauls it away. Well, Valencia, 2-run homer today.
And a single. Josh Donaldson's been doing it all year long.
Some great D from Donaldson. Nice catch by Bautista to steal away a home run. Pilar's made a couple of great catches. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Leon, ground ball. Goins goes to first. Blue Jays win, and it's win number 11 in a row. They sweep the Sox in Fenway.
Boy, they really stick a fork in them. They're done. They really took it to the Red Sox. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all phases of the game working for the Blue Jays. They've got the momentum right now. Everybody is doing their thing to contribute to the win. And they did what they had to do this afternoon. They had a chance to sweep the Sox, and they did it.
They got a 6-run 4th, 4-run 5th. Sox tried to respond with 5 of their own in the 5th. Blue Jays put it away with 3 in the 7th. They won 11 in a row. They defeat the Sox 13-5. Let's head to Blue Jays Central. Jamie Campbell and Cliff Floyd.